I wasn't in the truck anymore. I was standing barefoot on the highway, breath fogging in front of me, but the air wasn't cold, it was thick, like syrup, and the ground beneath me throbbed like a heartbeat, and there it was, a gas station I'd only seen in dreams, neon open sign flickering blood red, door ajar, something watching from inside. When I stepped in, the bell didn't ring, it screamed. The cashier had no face. And the voice said, "Pump 6, Aaron." Just like before. And I knew then. I'd never left the road, I'd become it. Let me start by saying I'm not the type of guy who scares easy. I've worked night shifts, driven across state lines on empty tanks, dealt with crazies at gas stations in the middle of nowhere, and I've camped alone in deep woods without cell service, but this broke me. It all started with a damn detour sign, glowing orange and misplaced, sitting crooked on the side of Route 6 just outside Laramie, Wyoming. It wasn't supposed to be there. I knew those roads. I was heading home from a 3-day haul delivering engine parts to a place up in Billings, and my GPS clearly told me to keep straight. But the road was blocked with cones, a single construction vehicle parked sideways like it'd been abandoned. The weird part, no crew. No flashing lights. No sound. Just that sign with a cheap plastic arrow pointing left down a road I'd never seen before. I should VE turned around. I should VE called dispatch. But it was late, 2:17 a.m., and I just wanted to get home, crack a beer, and crash. So I took the detour. And that's when everything started to twist. The road was narrow, no streetlights, the kind of black that eats your headlights. I drove for 20 minutes before realizing I hadn't seen a single other car. Not one. Then I looked down at my GPS and it was blank. Not frozen. Blank. Like the app crashed, but when I checked my phone, every other app worked. The maps just vanished. I had signal. Full bars. But no location. That's when I passed the same billboard twice. First time it said, "Need a break, exit ahead, rest stop open 24/7. The second time, I noticed the lights on the billboard flickered, then changed. Now it read, "Break the loop. Find the signal." That's when the hair on my neck stood up. My tank was half full. I'd barely touched the pedal. And I was looping. I kept driving, hoping for an exit, a ramp, anything. Then I saw headlights in my rear view. At first, I felt relief. Another driver. Maybe I could flag them down. But they never got closer. I'd slow down, they'd slow down. Speed up, they matched it perfectly. I flicked my high beams. No reaction. Just two white dots, always just far enough to be out of reach. Then the radio crackled. Now, this is where it gets hard to explain, because I hadn't turned it on. The truck's system had been silent the whole drive. But now the speakers hissed, popped, then a low voice said, "Aaron, don't stop. That's my name. And I live alone. No one should know I was on that road." I yanked the wheel to the right, pulling off to a dirt shoulder. I jumped out, heart pounding, and aimed my flashlight behind me. Nothing. No headlights. No road. Just black trees pressed up against the edge of the shoulder like they were trying to lean into the lane. I got back in and slammed the door shut. The radio kept playing static mixed with whispers. Then, clear as day, the same voice said, "You left once. Why do you come back?" I don't remember ever being on that road. But when he said that, something clicked, like a memory just out of reach, like trying to remember a dream the second you wake up. I floored it. Tires spun, gravel flew, and I bolted forward. The voice kept talking. You passed the test. Why repeat it? And then, just like that, my headlights went out. Mid-drive. Engine still running. Just pitch black. I slammed the brakes, skidded sideways, heart thudding in my throat, and the lights came back. I was back in front of the same damn billboard. Only now it was blank. Just a gray, static surface buzzing faintly, like an old TV. That's when I knew I wasn't on any real road. I was somewhere else. Somewhere wrong. I stepped out of the truck, slowly, flashlight shaking in my hand, and walked to the sign. My boots crunched gravel that didn't sound right, too soft, too wet. And the trees, they weren't trees anymore. Up close, they looked like cables. Black, twisting cables that moved when you weren't looking directly at them. I ran back into the truck, slammed the door, locked it like that would help, and that's when I saw the passenger seat. There was something sitting there. I never picked up a hitchhiker. Never stopped for anyone. But now, there was a man. Or a shape of one. Dressed like me. Hat low, face in shadow. And when I turned to face him, he just whispered, "You've always been here." Then he was gone. I don't remember falling asleep, but when I opened my eyes, my truck wasn't on the side of the road anymore. It was moving, gliding silently like it was floating across water, and the trees outside weren't trees at all now, they were watchers, tall, thin, shivering like antennae stretching into an ink-colored sky with no stars, just one massive red light pulsing above everything like a heartbeat in the clouds, and the road, if you could call it that, was made of something that looked like asphalt but shimmered like oil-slick skin, and in front of me, the yellow lines curved, spiraled, then straightened as if leading me somewhere very specific, and my hands were on the wheel, but it didn't feel like I was steering anymore. I yelled, screamed, begged for this to stop, but the radio just hummed a lullaby, something low and familiar, like my mother used to sing before she disappeared all those years ago, and when I glanced at the passenger seat again, that thing, that man, that version of me was back, only now I could see his face, and it was mine, exactly mine, except older, hollowed out, eyes like burned out bulbs, and he said in my voice, "Every road ends here, Aaron, because this is where you started," and I wanted to punch him, scream at him, ask what the hell that meant, but I couldn't move, like my body was anchored to this reality and my thoughts were echoing off invisible walls. Then suddenly the truck jerked and the road split in two, left path smooth, glowing faintly blue, right path cracked, steaming, pulsing red, and the wheel turned on its own to the right, and everything inside me screamed no, that's not the way. But the tires obeyed something else, not me, and I felt this sudden pressure in my ears, like altitude sickness mixed with static electricity, and then I saw them, faces in the mist, hundreds, maybe thousands, lining the road like spectators at a marathon, only these things weren't human anymore, if they ever were. Their skin was stretched, teeth too wide, eyes rolled white like they'd seen too much, and one of them reached out and slapped the side of the truck as I passed, leaving a handprint. That glowed briefly, then burned away, and the voice on the radio, now deeper, distorted, said, "You were never supposed to leave, Aaron, but you forgot that, didn't you?" And then static screamed so loud I thought my eardrums would pop, and when it cut, I wasn't in the truck anymore. I was standing on the highway barefoot, breath fogging in front of me, but the air wasn't cold, it was thick, like syrup, and the ground beneath me throbbed, pulsed like a living thing, and in front of me stood a gas Station, one I recognized, not because I'd been there, but because I'd dreamed it, hundreds of times, the neon sign flickering open in blood red, the windows fogged, door slightly ajar, and when I stepped inside, the bell above the door didn't ring, it screamed, a high-pitched wail that made my vision blur, and the cashier looked up, no face, just a void where his head should be, and yet I could feel him smiling, and he said in a voice that came from everywhere and nowhere, "Pump 6, Aaron, just like before," and I turned, and through the window, I saw my truck, idling at a pump, except it wasn't my truck anymore, it was older, rusted, the plates wrong, and someone was inside me, or another version, hunched over the wheel, unmoving, and behind him, something writhed in the back seat, something large, black, and wet, like it was made of shadows and screams, and it saw me, through the glass, it saw me and smiled, and I knew then that I was being watched, not just here, but always, that this place wasn't just a trap, it was a mirror, showing me things I wasn't ready to see, and the voice came again, clearer this time, gas up, or bleed out, and I ran, bolted through the back door into a hallway that shouldn't have existed, long, endless, like a hotel corridor lit with sickly green lights, the walls breathing in and out, and every door I passed had a nameplate: my mom, my brother, my dead dog, teachers I hadn't thought of in years, every person I'd ever forgotten, each door with scratches around the handle like they'd tried to claw their way out, and then I reached one that said Aaron Davis Final Stay, and my hand moved without my permission, turned the knob, and the door opened to a hospital room, white and sterile, and I saw myself on the bed, tubes everywhere, flatline on the monitor, and a doctor looked at me and said, "It's been 7 years, Mr. Davis, time to let go," and everything inside me shattered because I remembered now I'd crashed that delivery trip to Billings, I never made it, and this, all of this, it was the in-between, a limbo stitched from guilt and memories and fear, and I fell to my knees, screaming, begging to wake up, and the world tilted, the walls cracked, and the last thing I heard before blacking out was my own voice whispering, "You never left the road, Aaron, you just became it," and now every night, I see that damn detour sign in my dreams, the orange arrow pointing down a road that only exists when you got nowhere else to go, and the worst part, I still drive it. I feel myself driving it. Every loop, every twist, every version of me trapped on that highway, still trying to find the way out, and if you're reading this, if you ever see a road that doesn't exist on any map, a detour that feels too quiet, too still, don't take it, because once you enter, once you accept the ride, you don't leave, you become the road.